My name is Neil Kummer. I'm from KEF International. We're a company that since 1979 has been doing international shipping for Olim. We also do purchasing for household goods. Olim can bring shipments from any country, no longer only from their country of origin. They have 3 shipments within which to bring all the goods that they want. They can bring, for example, European goods from Europe, American goods from America. They can, of course, bring household goods from wherever they lived, or from anywhere else. If they want to buy furniture in Italy, they can do that as well. You can also bring a car, reduce taxes. Instead of 125%, you pay only 76%, and there's a lot of room for reduction of the value based on age. That does not count as a shipment. Similarly, a business shipment does not count as a shipment. Olim can bring up to $36,000 of goods, paying no taxes. They do, however, have to leave a bank deposit for the amount of what the taxes would have been. In many cases, it's worth checking to see if that's worthwhile, because for a good portion of the goods these days, there's just VAT, which in any case a business gets back from the government. So it may be worthwhile not even taking advantage of that, because it's a bit of a schlep to go to the bank, leave the bank guarantee. It costs money, it takes time, and it may just be worthwhile bringing the goods in. It's of course worthwhile, before you even consider doing a business shipment, to check and see the availability of local goods. It may be worthwhile, because of the price and because of the support you'd get by buying it locally, to simply purchase the goods locally. The question of what to bring is the more serious question. You don't want to bring junk. You only want to bring goods that you enjoy, that you like, that you want to spend time with. You don't want to bring IKEA goods unless you're going to ship them as is. There is IKEA in the country, although it's actually, for larger items, it's significantly more expensive than bringing them in. You may want to bring large furniture if your household can accommodate it. And you certainly want to bring your books, your clothes, goods that are, give you a sense of who you are, and it's important to bring things that are precious, because you want to be able to enjoy your life here. Similarly, we've had people who've brought in 30-year-old cars or 20-year-old cars because their father gave them a car, or because it was the family car and the kids will feel comfortable with it. So that's another issue. Moving on to the question of what's worthwhile bringing in commercial goods, for a profession, it may not be worth bringing anything. In general, the issue of finding support for your goods is primary, and you don't want to save a few dollars and give up on that. The question often comes up, which electrical appliances are worth bringing, because prices have come down dramatically in Israel, especially for middle, low-end European appliances. So as it stands now, the only appliances that are worth bringing are high-end appliances, whether they be from Europe or America, or very large refrigerators. It's no longer worthwhile to bring TVs unless you're going to buy a projection TV and buy an adapter, which costs about $500. There you can have a significant savings, and get something that's sold here for a high price. Washing machines and dryers, you probably will not want to bring unless you, again, want to buy a premium model. The premium models available in America are made by Whirlpool, the Duet, and also the Gold Series. The high-end Maytags are no longer available for export from America. The Neptunes are available, but we recommend against them. The commercial and the stack Maytags, which are excellent, are only available in Israel. You can also look on our website, which is www.kefintl.com, to see what's available for import and what we recommend. All of this material is handled on our website, and you can also contact us through there, and we'll send you updates on that information. There's several ways of bringing in household goods or commercial goods. One is to use a full container. Most people do not use full containers. most people use what's called LCL, which is less than full container, which means that the size of the shipment is whatever they want to bring. So you shouldn't feel that you have to bring in 1,000 cubic feet or 2,000 cubic feet of goods. You bring in what you feel you need and you want. The LCL shipments, the less than full container shipments, are billed on a per volume basis with a little component that's based on weight. Containers are billed largely on how much packing there is to do. The price of a container is mostly handling. The actual ocean freight is less than half of the full price. A significant part of the costs with shipments can be insurance as well. Insurance is often between 2 and 2.5%, so if you insure a shipment for $100,000, that brings it up to $2,500. There are also significant fees on the Israel side: clearing, delivery, port fees, documents, communications, which often add up to in excess of $600. For those of you who are considering going into business, doing commercial importing, my first bit of advice is check on the distribution. It's easy to find something that's not sold in Israel and that's desirable here, or that's going to be desired here once you create that, but the main costs are going to be publicizing it and creating an appetite for it, and then finding a way of getting it out to the people and collecting your money. So that's a much more serious and difficult consideration than the actual import. The import these days is greatly simplified over what it was in previous years. Few items, except technical items, require a tech and require a standards institute, and many of the items accept standards institutes from other countries. Some items require import licenses. Often medical items require from the Ministry of Health, and food items as well. But again, that's all technical issues. Those are all technical issues and not significantly different than they would be in any country. The significant challenge is going to be to create an appetite and to create venues for distribution. It's important to consider that the taxes are significantly lower than they used to be, which is one of the reasons why some people advise just buying all your goods in Israel, including your household goods, including your appliances. For most appliances and for most furniture, taxes are down to 15.5%, that is to say just VAT, if they're accompanied by the proper documentation. The proper documentation is what's called a certificate of origin. It means that the goods were made either in Europe and shipped from Europe, or made in America and shipped from America. It's for that reason that most professional items, you should look seriously at purchasing them in Israel, and most mid-range European appliances you should also consider buying locally. The tax laws that make it worthwhile not importing any goods except high-end American appliances, special commercial goods that aren't easily or cheaply available in Israel, and household goods that are not easily or cheaply available in Israel, is a free trade agreement between Israel and Europe, and between Israel and the United States. This makes it so that for goods manufactured in those countries and brought from those countries with the correct documentation, have no tax on them except for value-added tax of 15.5%.